Welcome in. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And while you're thinking about turkeys, cranberry sauce, and my favorite green bean casserole, we thought we would get some Thanksgiving history. That's why we're going right to America's hometown. We're going to be talking to Richard Pickering, who is the historian and deputy director of the Plymouth Patuxent Museums. Richard, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, this is an exciting time, but I love that we're going to talk to you about the history of the holiday. So, why is Plymouth, Massachusetts, where you are right now, considered America's hometown?
Plymouth is America's hometown because when you open any American history textbook, they almost all start with Plymouth. So where I'm standing is near where Mayflower landed at Plymouth Rock. There's Mayflower Compact that starts America's constitutional tradition. And then I am near the site of the first Thanksgiving, the nation's most beloved holiday. 97% of Americans say that they celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's more than any other holiday in our annual cycle.
Richard, can you tell me a little bit about this 400-year anniversary that I've heard of?
Well, the event that's identified as the first Thanksgiving happened in Plymouth in the fall of 1621. And I think today we will understand this holiday more than any generations before us because of what we've been through. Where the nation and so many parts of it have been closed for the last 2 years and we've had to remain apart, this Thanksgiving where we can be together will be so poignant and so profound. Just like those that were here in Plymouth in 1621, the Pokanoket, the indigenous people, they had experienced an epidemic so severe, sweeping from Maine to the border of Rhode Island, that took as much as 90% of the indigenous population. And for the Mayflower passengers, 52 survived the first winter of the 102 that came. So when they were here together, feasting, playing sports, showing one another military strength, they were fragile communities reaching toward one another after losses we can only imagine. And I think for those of us that have been through pandemic, we can look back at the original participants and understand the emotions surrounding what they were doing.
Yeah, definitely seeing some parallels that we never could have imagined. And we can really relate with that very first Thanksgiving. Richard, I was wondering, so how is our turkey and pumpkin pie different than that of the Pilgrims and the Pokanokets? Did I say that right?
Yep, Pokanoket there. They are the indigenous people whose tribal land is on the border of Massachusetts and Rhode Island along the coast. And they were the people that were here for the first Thanksgiving. There's a new book on Thanksgiving I dearly love, and the writer says there are 4 pillars to the holiday: turkey, cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie, and depending upon your family sentiments, either mashed potatoes or stuffing. So the 17th century bird was not farm raised. So it was not the big and meaty birds that we get today. I don't think many Americans are going out and shooting their turkeys for the holiday. But Governor Bradford sent 4 men fowling, and in just a couple of hours, they were able to take enough fowl to feed the entire company for 1 week. We find it easy to roast a bird. In the 17th century, it requires labor. You need someone sitting at a spit and turning that bird. So I suspect many of the birds at the first Thanksgiving were actually boiled and seasoned at the table. And for pumpkin,
Yes.
no pie, because the English grains didn't do well the first winter. So they were slowly boiling the cubed pumpkin until it was soft, then folding in butter, and then adding spices like nutmeg to give it a richer flavor. So the difference is that what I love is the ingredients are the same across 4 centuries. We're just using them differently and esteeming them differently. In the 17th century, the turkey was just one of many fowl, many meats at the table. But in the 1800s, it gets the primacy of place at the table. And it takes a while for that pumpkin to go from poor stewed pumpkin to the rich deliciousness of the pumpkin pie.
I am glad that we have evolved. Richard, I'm a little bummed. I wanted you to be wearing a traditional colonial Plymouth outfit for this interview.
You asked me back, and I guarantee you, William Brewster will be here.
I would love it. So you are saying that if you do want to celebrate a Thanksgiving in Plymouth, it's unlike any other. Tell me about that.
It is, there is something about being where these events of Mayflower Landing, the Mayflower Compact, and the beginning of self-government, and the Thanksgiving feast happened that ties you to the Americans that went before us in ways that are unimaginable and profound. I host the museum's Thanksgiving dinners, so I have the privilege of being with anywhere from 1,500 to 1,700 people every Thanksgiving and telling them the story of these communities reaching toward one another. We serve family style, and I say the original participants couldn't speak to each other, yet they played sports, they feasted, they showed military strength together. You all can speak to one another. Find the story of the stranger at your table, and people are just bound together in friendship. And we even have people that have never known one another until they had Thanksgiving at this museum. And they said, wow, I really like you. Want to do this again next year? And so new types of families are being founded. It's extraordinary. So I would say every American needs to be here once. And you can find out more about visiting Plymouth by visiting the website cplymouth.com. It will give folks all the information that they need to share in this.
I love it. Richard, I could talk to you all day. You are a wealth of knowledge and very passionate about our history, which I love. Thank you so much for sharing some of your
Thank you.
with our community right here in central Pennsylvania.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.